Hey guys, here we are at Donnington in the Nissan GTP for an IMSA Classic race. It's a 40-minute race. Unlike the recent IMSA Classic 500 at Laguna Seca, this is just a sprint essentially. We have a 40-car field, actually 50-car field, wow. It looks like 25 or 24 of them are the GTOs, the Audi GTOs, and the 24 are the Nissan GTPs. We got around 10 minutes of practice and managed to put it 13th. Like I said, barely much practice, and there's some big curbs here I'm trying to avoid because they'll really upset the balance of the car. I watched the pole lap, and their gearing is way different than mine, so I feel like I'm already at a disadvantage there, just knowing that I don't have a great setup for that. Should be around 43, 42 laps or so. Don't know what traffic's gonna be like, I'm guessing. I mean, this is under a minute laps, probably gonna be super crazy. But anyways, let's just try to survive. Maybe top 10, that'd be an awesome goal, but just surviving would be a bonus. So hope you enjoy and see you at the end. Also, this race is being broadcast on GSRC, so check it out.
Audis? Yay! We took them behind. We're like,
my god!
say it was a misship. I think I made Noel shit himself. At least I didn't blow up my engine.
Jesus Christ, dude! So clearly there. So slow.
down and passing. I'm making bad moves on the guys in front of me too. And the you guys up the nice. Just hit the guys up there too. Alright.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to turn in.
I know. I thought you were kind of fast.
Jesus Christ, guys, come on!
Coming right there, Mickey.
Wasn't me, I swear.
Just coming to a complete stop, I see. Jesus Christ! Where are you going? Make up your freaking mind. God, man. Maniac.
Sorry, Josh.
With it.
Happy birthday, Emerson.
Neutral at the worst time.
Great, guys. Enjoyed that. Still a bit scary.
That was my first multi-class race. That shit is intense.
Sorry lost for the lap 1 contact.
So a few things. First of all, hey, let's look at that. Up 9 spots. I think we were the largest. I mean, not the most spots gained, but the most spots gained like per position, I guess. Or that means like this person gained 7, we gained 9, so that's more than that. But while this person gained 10, we finished ahead of him. So it's like if he had gotten I don't know, if we had each gotten 10, but I finished higher. I don't know. Anyways, almost the podium after I was just praying to stay on the lead lap, trying to finish and trying to hopefully get a top 10. In fact, only 6 guys finished on lead lap. We are one of them, starting 13th. I thought we had no qualifying pace, but I feel like we had a lot better race pace, and not just that, but traffic. I mean, I knew this with how short this track was, traffic's gotta be everything, but holy cow, it was ridiculous. Just, I mean, I wouldn't say it was ridiculous to the point of stupidity. I feel like this is possibly realistic in a way, like I could imagine it, but it's like I totally respect all the other cars in the GTO class. Like I understand they're going to be battling, and it's our job to get by. The challenge I had was the minor issue is when they're side by side, trying to find a way around, but again, that's still up to us to get our way by. I think that was a really annoying was when we caught lap traffic from our own class trying to get by those cars, and they were so slow at doing it, and so now you had to get by the slow traffic and the person that didn't know how to get around them, and so I just kept losing so much time. I think it was behind like the 20th place car or whatever, and a few others, but it's like they're almost wrecking trying to pass, and so it's like you almost get involved in their own mess. That was the really aggravating part, but as like near the end there, I kept seeing like 5th place get up really close down to 2 seconds, then back to 5, and it was just like the I don't know spring of the traffic in a way. The way I'd catch them lose, then he'd catch them and lose, and it just went back and forth, which was pretty cool. Yeah, if we qualified higher, I honestly wonder if we had any contention for third there. Top two, those guys are just in another level pace-wise. But let's just look at our fastest lap, seeing if we were pretty. I mean, I think we got maybe one lap or a few by ourselves where we could actually kind of push. 56.6 was our fastest. Third place, their fastest lap was a 56.5. So you can see we're right on line with third place. And then here, 56.1, so they're a whole half second faster. And then Gabri, he got a 56.2. So you can see these guys are at 4/10 faster, but I felt like I was within 1/10 of third there. But yeah, I mean, podium or not, I mean, surviving in a top 5 is just awesome from where we started. Plus, yeah, the fact we got this broadcast, I don't know if we'll get any highlights of our moves that we made, but there's just too many to even go to try to find. I'm gonna see if I can find a few of them here, but it was like there was one incident where I think I ended up hitting a GTO out of the way, but then there was some where it's like they're just making these unpredictable line movements. It's just like I feel like as long as they keep their line, I'll find a way to get around. Sometimes they held us up because I wasn't anticipating something, but they did the right thing. Other times they closed the door when I was clearly inside. Then there was that one time where I think I just totally lost it, went way too deep at turn one. Was this the lap? Yeah, that's just easily could have spun there. I really should have just been taking third a lot earlier in the corner. You can see I went to second, just did not upshift. Really couldn't figure out what the right gear was in practice, and with a little more practice, probably would have found out that you could probably either take this whole thing in third or downshift to second for the initial rotation, then upshift to third for the wheel spin, because I wasn't sure if I was going to burn out the rear tires by the end of the race. But more than anything, it was just keeping it on track because some of the curves are brutal and something that I didn't really see too much of. But this corner right here, if you end up taking too much dirt on the inside, GT3s, it can just fly through. F4s fly through. This, it just bombs out so bad, and you really feel the bumps. It's incredible. So, yeah, this is went off there, almost just got in such a mess with the multi-class cars. And I'm just trying to figure out like where we ended up getting spots. And there was a lot of people that ended up spinning out and stuff. And yeah, look at this car, huge evasive move. It's just the craziest stuff. Cars overshooting and then they end up rejoining, sliding back onto the track. That is so scary. And like the fact that both of us had to go off to avoid that is just so freaking crazy. So yeah, let's see if I can find some of the guys ahead that allowed us to a nice voice crack there that allowed us to get up to fourth. Because unfortunately, I wish I could have said that. Oh, look at that move. So what happened to this guy? Similar. Did he go off on his own, or looks like he was trying to, yeah, once again, the side-by-side traffic, like, it's annoying because either he has to wait behind them or he has to try to find his own lane and ends up losing time there, and somehow we managed to get through. That was just the craziest freaking move. Let's watch this from TV view because this was what it was so risky, but somehow pulled it off. Yeah, it looks like it may have just gotten the slightest bit of damage as we turned in there, just clipped his left rear, and I mean, unfortunately, I think that was probably netcode. He probably got a 4x from it, but man, I tried to split the middle as best as I could. So I believe that puts us up into 8th place by lap 8. Let's see, any other positions running? Okay, so there's 9th to 7th, so something happened around lap 13. Oh, someone's off there. Oh yeah, this is where this huge mess was. So I see 2 GTPs off. What the heck was happening here? So it looks like 5th place closing in on 4th place, closing in on traffic, and they just all collided. I was wondering if he was gonna be able to pull that off, trying to just go all the way onto the grass here. It's just like, is this the Audi's fault for not trying to run the middle and giving this person a line? I mean, normally, like, you're able to take the inside here. And was Josephine trying to do that? I think he was, and then realized that the Audi was just going there too late. He actually made the move stick, but unfortunately behind just ends up getting rammed, and man, that is just really sad. But as they were coming to rejoin, I thought I saw one car just going really slowly. Was it this one? Yeah, it was. Nothing. I mean, he did the best rejoin he could, but look at this closing speed that we encountered was ridiculous. It really reminds me of, oh gosh, I should really know. There was like a Formula wreck here where there was a car that was basically parked up here, and I think the person ended up losing his legs because of this incident. And it's like the exact same thing, honestly, where it could have been because we can barely see the car up there. I mean, obviously we can now, but then as soon as this car gets in front, he gets on the brakes, which at least you can see the lights, so that indicates it's a slow car, but look how close, almost lost control of the car, trying to just come to a complete stop there. But yeah, I mean, 130 miles per hour, and the car rejoining slows us down to like 90, I guess only 30 miles per hour, but when you're not expecting it, had to go off track and then lost the position to Pascal. Look how much time Pascal gained from this incident. Look how we can't even see any cars ahead. But I mean, this had to be the best freaking. Where did Pascal finish? Did he end up wrecking out? Oh, that's unfortunate. But this was just an incredible. That's got to play to see what this looks like. The fact that he closed that much time in like a sector. Didn't mean to touch Pascal there. I was just trying to get the dirt off the tires. But man, yeah, that had to be just perfect timing from Pascal. Could have not dreamed of something better. Here's Andrew. You didn't gain a spot from him though. He just ended up getting. What happened there? Matthias ended up getting in the back. I mean, you just kind of see how these guys, like the traffic in the same class, the pace difference is just ridiculous. And he's braking like 100 meters earlier than I normally would have, and way too hard as well. So 4th place ends up spinning out, and they're able to continue. It looks like, but until we get past them, so that's how he gained another spot up into 6th place. It seems. Just unfortunate. And then is that another spot? It is. So let's see. Did he end up getting did he end up finishing? Looks like he did, but 6 laps down. This looks like looks like the 26 is making a pretty easy pass along a GTO. So looks like he downshifts just too quickly, or even downshifts too like an extra gear perhaps, and just locks up the rears. Once again, I was able to rejoin, but lost some time, and that gives us another spot. So, and did we also make the move? Yeah, here we go. Same corner, overshot, and we got through. So that's up 2 spots. I think that brings us up into somehow fourth. Oh yeah, I guess those 2 spots plus the car that ended up rear-ending the lap traffic one. So just a lot of chaos, interclass chaos, multi-class chaos. Just quite with a track. How short is this track? 1.96 miles, under 2 miles, basically under, yeah, around 3 kilometers or so. Sub 1 minute lap times. That's just absolute chaos, which is just a blast. Glad we got involved in a bit of chaos, not gonna lie, in our own. And yeah, I'm still trying to find that incident with it was like Josh Bryan or Josh, was it Brain? Is it trying to, I don't even know who it is. But anyways, those are the main ones for how we gain spots. Once again, congrats to Audrius for winning in GTO, and congrats to Gabri for winning in GTP, and also congrats to Jacob and Jack for getting the podium spots. Looks like starting up front for them was quite important as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, I'll make sure to check out the GSRC broadcast. I'll make sure to share in the description. Thanks again, and see you next time.